shadow, whispers.
I never believed in haunted places. That's the first thing you need to know about me. To me, haunted asylums were just cheap horror attractions, designed to lure thrill seekers desperate for adrenaline. I was a man of reason, someone who demanded evidence before surrendering to superstition, which, of course, makes what happened that night so much worse. Because I can't reason my way out of it. It began with a dare. My friend Mark had found the ruins of Ashwood Asylum, a psychiatric hospital shut down in the early 70s after a fire gutted its eastern wing. He'd read about it online. Patients locked in their cells and left to die as the building burned, nurses who vanished without trace, and whispers that some experimental therapy had been taking place in the sub-basements. Spend the night there, Mark had laughed over beers, and I'll pay your rent for a month. Easy money, I thought. One night in a broken-down hospital. Flashlight, phone, a thermos of coffee. Nothing to be afraid of. At least, that's what I told myself. Ashwood stood like a corpse against the horizon. A mass of crumbling stone and rusted steel, surrounded by skeletal trees that scratched at the sky. The windows were black, hollow sockets staring out across the overgrown courtyard. My car engine clicked as it called. The air smelled faintly of mold and something sharper like iron. I pulled my backpack on, clicked my flashlight, and crossed the threshold. The moment I stepped through the front doors, I felt it. Not a sound, not a movement, just a shift in the air, as if the building exhaled and noticed me. The main corridor stretched into darkness, lined with peeling paint and graffiti. My footsteps echoed, too loud, bouncing off the walls. Each door I passed bore the remnants of a patient's name, scratched into tarnished brass plates. Some were illegible, others gouged deep by something sharp. At first, it was almost peaceful. Just me and the quiet, my flashlight beam sweeping over abandoned wheelchairs and overturned gurneys. But then the quiet shifted. I became aware of a low hum, like static leaking through the walls. I froze, listened. It wasn't mechanical, too uneven, too alive. Like a whisper of many voices just beyond hearing. I shook it off, muttering, old wiring, though deep down I knew there hadn't been electricity here for decades. I found it by accident, a half-collapsed door marked medical records. Inside, cabinets lay toppled, spilling folders across the floor like broken bones. Dust coated everything. Curiosity pulled me in. I picked up a file. Patient number 42. Eleanor Vance, schizophrenia. Subject to electroconvulsive therapy. Frequency 3 times weekly. The words sent a chill through me. The pages were stained, as though someone had wept on them long ago. More files told similar stories, experimental treatments, unethical procedures, subjects locked in isolation for months. My throat tightened. For the first time, I wondered if this dare had been a mistake. I dropped the file, spun toward the door. Mark, I called before remembering he wasn't here. No answer, only silence. I forced myself deeper into the asylum, my flashlight being revealed barred doors, each one opening into cramped cells, rusted bed frames, mouldy mattresses. In one cell, the wall was covered in scratches. Hundreds, maybe thousands, a tally system, days, weeks, months, and beneath them, carved deeper, "Let me out." I shivered. I whipped my light toward the noise. Nothing, just a shadow. But the sound continued. Not from the walls this time, from inside my head. Like nails against the inside of my skull. I staggered back, clutching my temples, and just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. The silence was worse. I don't know why I kept going. Some mixture of pride and stubbornness, maybe curiosity. The stairs down to the basement were slick with moss. The air grew colder with each step, heavy with damp rot. At the bottom, my flashlight flickered. I found myself in what must have been the therapy rooms, rusted tables with leather restraints, cabinets filled with cracked jars, their labels faded. One jar still contained something pale and bloated, floating in murky fluid. I turned away before I could look closer. That's when I heard it, a voice, soft, female, "Help me." My blood ran cold. "Hello," my voice cracked, "please." It came from deeper in the basement, where the shadows pooled like black water. Against every instinct, I followed. The hallway ended in a wide chamber. At its center sat a single chair, bound with straps, facing a broken mirror. And in the mirror... No, I don't know how to describe it. Because the mirror showed me, yes, but not me. My reflection was strapped to the chair, thrashing, eyes wide with terror. Its mouth opened, screaming silently. I stumbled back, shined my flashlight away. When I looked again, the mirror was shattered, my own panicked face staring back in fragments. The chair was empty. I should have left then. God knows I tried. I turned back toward the stairs only to find they weren't there. The corridor stretched endlessly behind me, far longer than it should have. I ran, doors blurred past, the hum in the walls rising into a chorus. Every word was indistinct, yet somehow directed at me, mocking, pleading, accusing. "Stop!" I shouted, clapping my hands over my ears. The whispers obeyed, too quickly. The silence pressed against me, suffocating. Then, I realized it wasn't my own. A figure stepped from the darkness. A woman, dressed in a blood-stained nurse's uniform, her head tilted unnaturally to one side, as if her neck had been broken. Her eyes were pits of shadow. "Time for your treatment," she whispered. She lifted a rusted syringe, impossibly long, glinting in my flashlight beam. I stumbled back. "Stay away from me," she advanced. Slow, certain, I turned and ran. No matter how far I ran, I couldn't escape. Corridors twisted back into themselves. Every door opened into the same hallway. The whispers followed, the heartbeat. The smell of iron thick in my nose. I burst through one door and froze. The room beyond was my own apartment. My couch, my desk, my coffee mug still half full. Relief surged through me until I saw myself, sitting on the couch, head in my hands, rocking back and forth. I backed away, trembling. The other me looked up. Its eyes were empty. It smiled. I don't remember leaving Ashwood. I remember the whispers, the mirror, the nurse, my own face grinning back at me, and then nothing. But when I woke, I was in my bed, morning sunlight streaming through the blinds, my phone on the nightstand, dead battery. For a moment, I thought it had been a dream, until I noticed the tally marks, dozens of them, scratched into my bedroom wall, and beneath them, carved deep, "Let me out."
Shadow. Whispers. See you next time.